My name's Jake Romanack and you're watching Fishing 411. On this week's episode, it's June on the Detroit River and we're after silver. Silver bass, that is. Joining me is my good buddy Rob Jones. Whatever you do, don't touch that remote because Fishing 411, it starts right now.
Man, he stopped that thing. I mean, he wanted it bad. I'm talking about totally stopped it. Man, he stopped it. Nice male. Well, now, this is getting towards the end of the run. It's June now, and we primarily gonna catch males. The females that came, laid their eggs and left. And now you got the males in here. And what they do is they follow the bait fish down this shoreline, and man, do they just corral them, and it's unbelievable. When they really turn on and they get a school of minnows hemmed up in these pockets right here, they're like freshwater piranhas. That's what I call them. They just crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. And these minnows come up in these little bays, and these fish just follow them. I mean, down the whole river, they follow them. And it ain't no fun for those minnows.
One thing about silver bass fishing is you're going to catch a lot of fish. And you know, we're not keeping these fish today, so we want these fish to be able to come to the boat and then release nice. So what we're doing is we're going to pinch the barbs on our treble hook, and it's a very simple process. What we're going to do is we're going to just take a pair of needle nose pliers, and I go with the length of the barb here, and I just squeeze down. And that pinches that barb nice and flat. That way when we get the fish up to the boat, it's easy to unhook it, it's easy on the fish, and we can get it back in the water.
If those seagulls, see how the seagulls are over there? They over on the other side. There's a bunch of them on the other. That's why the seagulls are sitting on the rails. See how they looking down in the water?
So the seagulls, the white bass are pushing a bait, or they're looking at the white bass?
Those seagulls over there on the rail right there, they looking in the water for the bass to push those minnows up. As soon as the bass push the minnows up, then they'll go down and smash them.
You want me to actually hit the wall? Is that too not?
Knock paint off.
Oh, that's what you do. And I tell you what, pound for pound, the silver bass fight just about as hard as any other fish, and with this light tackle, makes it so much fun. There's just an average size silver bass here. Well, this is kind of a fish that's overlooked in its species, but they are so much fun to target, especially this time of year when they're up in the Detroit River and they are just stacked in here, one after another.
Oh, baby. I like it when you treat me like that. Oh. Oh, I like it when you treat me like that, mama. Beautiful bass, beautiful bass. Like Jake said, these fish are so overlooked in this river, but surprisingly, that is a very good eating fish right there. I fillet that fish just like you would do a perch, but I always take the skin off. Soak them and clean them real good and fry them up like any other fish, man. You talk about some good eating. That flavor in there it's a good eating fish. You have to try it once. A lot of people won't try it, but once you try it, you're hooked for life.
You know, we set up on this very first spot, and what Rob's looking for is he's looking for those seagulls that are kind of dive bobbing the water. And what's happening is there's a lot of white bass, and they're pushing the bait up to the surface, and those seagulls are getting the bait. So what we're doing now is we just set up, and we saw some seagulls up on the other side of this area here. So we're gonna go around to the back side of it and set up. So Rob thinks there's a lot more fish on that side, and we're gonna go give it a try.
Oh. Hey Jake, look right along that thing, you can see them. They're right along the concrete.
Oh yeah.
I think this one has bit the dust. I mean, this right here is a great time to get the kids out. You know, when you have those kids and they're young and they have to have a lot of action, there's a lot of fish here, man, and they not hard to catch, as long as you know what they want. It's not hard to catch them. And the kids just have a ball when you do this. Anytime you want to get a kid hooked on fishing, bring them out here this time of year. I mean, it's just unbelievable. One after the other. Hey, Jakester.
What up, man?
You got one, buddy.
Yeah.
Additional considerations provided by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
Additional considerations provided by Fishhawk Electronics. Trolling without a fishhawk is called boating.
You know what Rob was saying about how this is such a cool activity to take kids fishing. I'm really young in the fishing industry. I'm only 21 years old, and I was blessed with the opportunity to make this a living. And it all started with my dad taking me fishing when I was just a young guy, and I got just obsessed with it. And this is just the perfect kind of sport for that, because every single cast, one after another, you have another fish on. So it's really a good thing to get these kids out here, because you know it won't be long before they get bit again. Just ain't holding. That's another nice fish, Rob. And you said that these were the males, right?
Yes.
So these are a little bit smaller average, but these are still really high quality fish.
Yes, they are. And man, do they smash it when they hit it, buddy. I'm with this program, it's called Simba. It's where it's a bunch of guys that mentor these young men from the city that has never had a chance to fish. And this is our 8th annual year that we took them out fishing this year. And we just take them out and mentor them, talk to them, take them fishing, and just, you know, tell them about life and show them it's different things. You know, some of them have, like I said, never been fishing. So you show them something different, something positive, and you never know when you've made a difference in some kid's life that will just change their whole outlook on life. Yes, it does. Ooh, like this one changed my outlook today. Oh, baby. Man, it never gets old. It seems like it, but it never gets old. I mean, you catch fish after fish and it never gets old. It always feels good.
I think this is like 4 casts in a row, Rob, that I've got now.
Oh, man.
But mine's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
I'll hold it closer to the camera.
Oh.
My guest on this week's show was Captain Rob Jones. Now, Rob Jones used to fish the tournaments against my dad back in the day, and growing up, he's been like a second dad to me. I spent a lot of time in the boat and on the ice with him. He's an all-around great guy, and when he gave me the call to come catch these fish, I had to jump in the boat, and we had to go sourmouth a few white bass.
My father took me fishing at the age of 2. I've been fishing ever since, and anybody who knows me will tell you, if you don't see Rob, he's either fishing or he's hunting. And it's made a difference in my life. It's just, that's all I've ever done. I mean, I don't know anything different. So, yeah, it changes, it builds character in you, and I don't know, it just makes you see things different. he got off. And he jumped on Jake's. Told you, tag team, Jake, tag team, buddy.
Now these fish are all pushed up against the cement wall here. And what's happening is these fish are predatory fish. So what they're doing is they're pushing the bait right up against the wall, and they're actually making the bait surface, the white bass are surfacing, and we can see right where they're at, and we can cast right into those schools and catch these fish. Makes it a lot of fun, especially when you're trying to beat Rob Jones to the punch, and he's a tough man to get in front of when it comes to catching white bass. You know, a lot of you at home are probably thinking the Detroit River, and that has to do with walleyes. And when you think about walleye fishing on the Detroit River, just the sheer number of people. A huge amount of anglers flock to the Detroit River to catch walleyes. But the cool thing about catching white bass on the Detroit River is you don't necessarily have to deal with the big mass of people. Now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people out there that enjoy catching white bass, but there's a lot of places on the Detroit River that have white bass. During this shoot, we spent all of our time in Canada, and we fished a lot of back cuts, areas where we never saw another boat. But I tell you what, catching these white bass is something that you have to take your friends, have to take your family, because you're gonna catch a lot of them.
Catch it. I'm about to catch it. I'm about to catch it. Let me see where Jake went. Okay, Jake went right there. I'm gonna go right over here.
I'll catch one on cue. Man, this is so much fun, Rob.
Yes, it is.
One after another after another.
Additional considerations provided by Procure, ruthlessly effective bait sets.
Special considerations provided by Bait Rigs Tackle, America's innovator of fine fishing products, and by Eagle Claw Hooks, proudly made in America since 1925.
One of the cool features on your HDS unit from Lowrance is to be able to organize your waypoints. So you can not only save a waypoint, but you can also organize it, and I can explain it a little bit better here by showing you. What I can do is I can go right into my screen here, and you can tell that I've been catching a lot of fish in this spot right here, so I can save a waypoint. Now if I save that waypoint, what's gonna happen is it's just gonna show me a number, but that number doesn't really do anything for me because I don't remember, you know, down the road what that number actually is. So what I can do is I can touch that waypoint, and it's gonna say 060, so that's the 60th waypoint that I saved. But I don't like the name of that, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back in here, and I can touch the waypoint, I'm gonna name it a new name. Now that it has this new name on there, I'll be able to remember when I go back that waypoint is someplace that one of my friends showed me. I can also go into the notes here and I can save a note. I can write whatever I want. The weather, the time of day, you know, all this information that we as fishermen need can go right into this note section, and you can write a little paragraph there. Now next time, when you go back to the waypoint, instead of it just being a number, it's gonna be a name, and it's gonna help you remember where you were fishing last. So taking the time and saving your waypoints and writing the names on your waypoint is gonna help you become a much better angler. We just kind of slid up close to this wall here, and they're just stacked right up on this wall. We talked about earlier how they're pushing the bait up against the wall, and you can actually watch these fish come out of nowhere and grab a hold of it, just like that. That's too cool. Another big fish, Rob.
Yes,
now you
sir.
said that these males are smaller, but average size is probably close to this one right here. And they're fighting really hard.
See, there they go. Look in the water. There you go right there. See them all? I see some bass over there. They're hitting the water real good right now. You can see them, they're all on top of the water right now. And the seagulls and the bass and the bass and the seagulls. Poor minnows. Don't stand a chance. It's a cruel, cruel world. Survival of the fittest. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Actually, it's a man-eat-silver bass world right now. Yes. Cast them right to the wall where the minnows are, let it sink a little bit and start retrieving.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, making those blades on that spinner spin. They see it, they like it, they bite it, we catch them. Oh, did you see that? I almost pulled the rod out my hand. Whoa, baby. Yes. Another nice silver bass. Yes, sir. Look at the color of that.
The bait that we're using today is called the Rooster Tail. And I tell you what, this is an iconic bait. This bait has literally withstood the test of time. My grandpa fished it, my dad fished it, now I'm fishing it. It's one of those catch-all baits. There really is not very many baits out there that you can say that I caught every single fish that you can think about in fresh water. The Rooster Tail, it catches it all. I mean, we've fished this bait all over the place and have caught fish everywhere we've gone with it. It comes in a whole bunch of different sizes and a ton of different colors. So no matter what style your fishing is, they're gonna have a Rooster Tail that meets your needs.
On this river, these white bass make a trip all the way from Erie all the way up, and they spawn and then they come back. And you got some of the nicest places to fish. Like you can go like towards downtown, and you have a lot of industrial places and a lot of barges that you can fish. And then you can come back down south this way, where you have parks and you have a lot of residential area where it's a lot of nice homes and things so you can change up the scenery, but the fishing is still the same. Absolutely a blast.
You know, Rob, when I think about the Detroit River, I think about April and I think about walleye fishing. When we launched today, there was nobody out of Wyandotte.
Nobody. I mean, a lot of people don't target these white bass, and they really don't realize what they're missing, because you see it's like one after the other, but it is kind of nice being able to launch and not have to wait an hour in line.
It's definitely not the Detroit River that I know when I think about April and the D.
Right.
Additional considerations provided by the Ultimate Sports Show Tour, Michigan's premier sports shows. Additional considerations provided by Motor Guide, engineered for anglers.
Rob took us to another spot here, and this has literally been one cast after another. It's been so much fun. You can actually see these fish bite, which is really cool. You know, this water's just clear enough on the surface, and we're throwing these spinners. The spinner's just above the surface, and you'll see these fish just come up from the depths and just smash it. They're so much fun.
I dropped the spinner right down in there as soon as they hit the water. Bam! Yes, sir. Oh, Jake, this is bigger than yours. Oh, Jake, look at that. That's a trophy. Let's see.
You see him? You see him out there?
Yeah.
I'll unhook the fish for you.
Thank you, Jake.
I don't want
Thank you, sir.
I don't want you to hurt yourselves.
Put a little bit of that scent on mine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Please. We need that. They're not biting.
Hold on, I gotta go over the boat.
Yeah.
I gotta keep the boat nice.
Oh, babe. Oh, I almost bit it myself.
No matter what style of fishing I'm doing, I love incorporating scents. And ProCare makes a scent for pretty much every style of fishing. Right now I'm actually using a water-soluble scent. And what's important about that is your spinner that you're using has a skirt. And when you use some of the gel type scents, it'll actually mat that skirt down and you lose that action of the bait. This water-soluble, it soaks straight into the skirt and you don't lose the action of the skirt. Really seeming to work out well today. Rob's got another one on.
Oh, he just came out of nowhere and just kamikazed it.
Today we're controlling our boat with our electric motor. That means up on the front of the boat, my XI5 motor guide is doing all the work for us. We're catching these fish up on a break wall, and we're kind of sliding down this break wall. But every time we see a school of fish, we'll stop right on them and we can use the anchor mode. Right here on my key fob, I have this anchor mode, and when I touch that anchor, literally hovers us right over the spot. It's just like dropping an anchor, but not having to actually drop an anchor. It works perfect for this style of fishing because when you see a group of fish, you can cast to them. When that group of fish start to disperse, you slide down, let the current push you down a little bit, and then lock again on another school of fish. And we're just slipping our way down this break wall.
Who's your daddy? It's a nice one.
One important piece of equipment that you're going to want to have when you're going out to catch these white bass is a good pair of sunglasses. not only for protection, you know, both Rob and I are casting back and forth, we're setting hooks and baits are flying everywhere, so it's stopping any chance of us getting any baits in the face, but also because of the polarization. We can see into the water, and I'm actually watching my bait as it breaks off that break wall and starts coming down. I can see that bait coming, and I'll actually watch that fish come up and hit the spinner. It makes the whole experience way more enjoyable because you can see these fish bite. Wow, that's so much fun. I got another one on.
Now this is what you call white bass fishing. Yes, sir.
The rod that I used on this week's show was a 7-foot medium light action rod. Made it for a ton of fun to catch these fish. I teamed that up with about a size 20 spinning reel, and I used braid. Having a no stretch line allowed me to feel those fish when they bit and get them into the boat. One of the things that Rob kept saying throughout the day was to watch the seagulls. Now at first I kind of just shook it off, didn't really think too much about it, but throughout the day as he kept saying that, I started paying attention to it. And what the seagulls are doing is they're actually dive bombing the bait. Now these white bass are so aggressive that they're pushing the bait right up to the surface, and the seagulls are getting a free meal from the whole deal. So where you saw seagulls dive bombing the water, you knew that there was white bass close. So everywhere we went throughout the day, we would see a group of seagulls and run right up to those group of seagulls and start casting. And sooner or later, we had a whole bunch of white bass.
Oh my goodness.
Right
oh,
at
baby.
the boat. That was cool. That was cool.
Hey, Jake. I think mine's bigger than yours this time, Jake.
I don't think so.
Yeah, buddy, I think so.
No way.
Yes.
I'll hold it up next to you. There's no way. This one's way bigger than that.
Wait a minute, hold on. Oh, it was twice as big, Jake. Twice as big as yours. Did you see the shoulders on that one?
Well, I sure hope you enjoyed watching this week's show. I know that Rob and I had a blast. On behalf of Rob Jones and myself, we really appreciate you watching this show. We'll see you here same time, same place next week.
Closed captioning is provided by Fishhawk Electronics.
Fishing 411 is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, your leaders in trolling technology. Yakima Bait, home of the Rooster Tail. Evinrude Outboards, introducing the E-Tech G2. Starcraft Marine, America's oldest aluminum fishing boat line. Jay's Sporting Goods, trust in the tradition. Cisco Fishing Systems, fish the finest. Smooth moves, smooth your ride.
Precision Trolling Data, the Troller's Bible now available in an app. Fish Niagara USA, up close and powerful.
Looking at Jake now, I remember when he was a little itty bitty baby. I'm talking about a little chunky little boy. I'm talking about a little chunky little boy.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
That means you're getting old.
That
man.
means I'm getting seasoned.